Okay, I think I'm set up. This is a different one today. Not if it's a bad thing, it's a good thing. I just wanted to get a different video out talking about what we're going to do. It's New Year's Day. Well, recording it on New Year's Day, so Happy New Year, guys. I hope this year is a better one than last year. Well, not necessarily. Maybe you didn't have a bad year last year, but it definitely would have been a lot lower tier than what you would have expected. So this year, it's going to be a better one. I can guarantee it. Um, I just wanted to talk about today what I'm going to do with the channel going forward and what new stuff I can bring, new ideas, new discussion, what's going to carry on, what might stop, and how are we going to carry it on basically going forward this year. Um, I've got The Last of Us sort of menu screen on. That's no reason to that. That's just a background for me to talk into so I can stream to Twitch. So you don't have to worry about that. Um, it's got no background sound really other than just a calming sea noise or river noise, whatever it is. It's just not going to cut into any gameplay or any cutscenes or blast out music, so it's the best thing to use. Um, I'm still playing The Last of Us, which is really good, and I plan to finish it on stream and video as we are. The speed of it goes slow and fast depending on how I want to play it. But yeah, I plan to finish it. I'm enjoying it. The game itself is really good. I'm enjoying editing it at certain points. Sometimes it drags on a bit because not every episode is going to be as fun as each other. Basically, like some sections are really deep cutscenes, some are really deep action scenes, but some are literally just walking and just conversation is not really relevant. I want to leave some of it in. And if I don't leave it in, I'm not going to stream extra time to cover it because I've only got a set amount of time to play the game, obviously. So that means that each episode is going to vary depending on literally what happens. And like, if I don't react to anything, or I don't want to watch my gameplay back, or I don't want to catch up on a cutscene, and it's really desperate for me to even commentate and react or make a desperate joke to try and liven it up a bit, like that's just not the best content. And obviously, I'm not going to say that in each video. This one's sick. This one's crap. Otherwise, people aren't going to turn into all of it. But from a perspective of making it, that definitely does happen, and it won't all be the same. But anyway, that was my first attempt, or it's ongoing. My first attempt at editing anything. I've been streaming for a couple of years now, and I've been streaming for 6 months with the microphone on, which was a step in the first place because I'm very quiet and nervous around this sort of thing. So putting the microphone on to commentate was a step in the right direction in the first place. And now I'm here openly discussing things rather than talking about a game. I can just sit here and talk with literally no prompt. That's another big step, which is great. So I was considering what else I can do after that series is over. Well, not necessarily after, because during as well. And one of the first things I thought of was to sort of discussion videos, but not discussing literally what to do. Making general discussion videos about stuff. So maybe after this series is over, I can sit and talk about The Last of Us 2 and review it. Say what I think of the story and what the game was. Uh, it will be spoiler based, obviously, because it's a story based game. Don't It's not going to be a should you play it or anything like that. I'll actually talk about it, how I feel about what happens in the story, what they could have done better, what I loved about it. Was it right? Was it what I expected? Was the atmosphere good? Was the gameplay good? And were the changes from The Last of Us 1 positive or negative? Because sometimes games try too hard when they make a sequel or a new game, and it can be a bit messy. But so far, I'm happy with it, and obviously by the end of the game, I'll review it. Now, I'm also on PS5 now. If you haven't watched the newer Last of Us videos yet, and I've just sent you this video because I probably will just literally send this video to people I want to watch it. But yeah, we're on PS5, so I've got Demon Souls now. I'm halfway through it. Well, probably over halfway to be honest. Um, Mixed opinions on Demon Souls so far. I'd be lying if I said if it is meeting what I want it to meet, because there are very big elements of that game that are definitely not meeting where I'd want that game to be. There are big faults in it. And I don't think that's necessarily because of the remaster. I think the remaster is very, very nice. I just don't think Demon's Souls was that groundbreaking a game, or at least if it was, it hasn't held up fantastically now. And even in well, the last generation, PS4, sort of your Bloodborne's, your Sekiro's, your Dark Souls 3, it doesn't hold up against those games. Even with the graphics and the overlay it has now, it just does not live up to what that game was. And okay, I'll be honest, it's my first playthrough of the game, and I haven't even finished it yet. So it's early judgment, sure, and when I'm finished, I will review it again, and, well, review my thoughts on it. I'll probably play it again as well. I'm not sure if that'll be on New Game Plus, or it'll be on a new file with a new build. Sure, we'll play it again. I'll probably do a bit more research into it, because I played this playthrough at least 75% of it as a blind playthrough. I've had to look a couple things up because I've just been so confused by it. I don't know what's going on, and I want to do something, and I'm like, okay, so how do I do that? It's probably so obvious I could have done it by this point, or maybe I need to do a certain thing to be able to get it. I don't want to go into detail exactly about everything, because I don't just talking about everything in general rather than. But yeah, on PS5, got Demon's Souls. When I finished it, I might do a video like this, just talking about my first reaction to it. And we'll keep the spoilers out of it, in terms of the story. And then what I might do, to talk about it earlier, I won't do that for The Last of Us, for Demon's Souls I might. Then I might play it again, one or two more times again. And then at the end of that, I'll do a full breakdown of everything in the game. So that will be literally ripping the game apart, or praising parts of the game, you know. Like taking every section, every boss, every area, every dynamic, and saying what I like and what I don't like about it compared to what this game has done compared to, say, the previous high points in the series. So like I'd say Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. I've also got Astro's Playroom, sorry. That's a really nice, clean introduction to PlayStation 5. And honestly, it's a really good game standalone. Even as a tech demo point of it, it's really, really nice game. And if you get a PlayStation 5, it's not something you should skip. Absolutely not. Something you should definitely go through. You can clear it in about 3 or 4 hours to basically 100%. And should you do that? Absolutely. You should not look over that. In terms of other reviews, we got Crash 4 as well. I finished Crash 4 on PlayStation 4, and I'm happy to review that. Everything I thought about it. How does it compare to other platformers? How does it compare to the original trilogy and what the Crash Bandicoot legacy is? What they got right, what they probably overshot, because they did overshoot some things. It wasn't perfect. It's okay, so the original ones definitely hold a place in my heart back on the PlayStation 1, and they mean a lot to me, but the Crash 4 is definitely a better game than the remastered trilogy for the PlayStation 4. So in that dynamic, Crash 4 is definitely a huge step forward, and it's a great game. And that leads me on to the next point, which could be discussions and potential podcasts. Not necessarily podcasts, but just discussion videos, either by myself or if other people want to come on, because it's their area as well and we can discuss it like that. I'd love to do stuff like that. So for example, people come on and discuss what their games of all time are, and why they're best games of all time. What was your best game of 2020? What is your favorite genre and why? What do you think happens in the future of gaming? Stuff like that. People want to talk about that. For me personally, I could do rankings as well, even if it's by myself or with others. Like I can rank the Crash games, or even I can rank all the platformers I've played in my life and stick them against each other, or all of the FromSoft games. Like there's 6 of them now I've played. Well, will have played by the time I finish Steam, so I can rank them against each other and put them against each other if people want to see that. Other areas, though, I could take a specific company if you want. I could take Naughty Dog, seems as we got this here, and I could say, what have Naughty Dog done? What do I like about Naughty Dog? Why do I love their game so much? I don't know, we can talk about Insomniac, because I know Insomniac have done Ratchet and Clank, they've done Spider-Man, because I've got Miles Morales to come as well. I've got that there ready to go as soon as I've freed up some time. And do podcasts with others, to discussions, that's one. We've got ranking videos, and fourthly, we've got just the community in a whole. So this game in particular, I've talked about certain things like Basically, this game has a lot of strong things such as feminism, sexuality, stuff like that, and this game portrayed it right in the front of what it was, and it received some mixed reception based on that. And I just want to talk about how I feel in terms of how generations have changed with that sort of thing. That's just one area we can talk about. We can also talk about game design and how it's expanding out, or difficulty in video games. What do I think difficulty should be set like? The topics that cover everything in games, different, completely different discussions about what the characters are and what they represent in real life. Like I said, difficulty, level design, expansion. One of my thoughts on DLC and add-ons, sort of payments to extension. Is it fair? Is it real? Is that the way we should go? What I think about the new console maybe and what is innovated on the PlayStation 5. There's so much different topics I could talk about for what I could do. And that's just video games. I'm also an avid football fan as well. Big Villa fan. I could talk about that, how Villa are doing. I can review the Premier League as a whole. I can review match weeks. People want to come on and say in a few months' time and put their Euro predictions in for the summer. Be my guest, because I'm happy to try and do that. Put in a Euro prediction when the groups are finalised. I think they're finalised already. You can do that thing where you can call the order of the groups and then the knockout stage you can predict it. People want to come on and do that, and I'll find a way to edit them all together. Then brilliant, we can do that. Otherwise, I've got a guitar now, and I'm very at the beginning of learning guitar, and eventually, if I can play it, I'd love to put it up. But that's definitely not at the front of my list. I'm making reviews and stuff. That's quite a lot early on in the spectrum. Guitar is a lot further back because you can't rush stuff like that. It takes a lot of skill. You might think I'm crap at video games. Yeah, sure. Well, see me on a guitar and you'll see where the scaling is in comparison, because that is a lot harder to pull off. Trust me. I looked at polls. They don't exist on YouTube anymore, unfortunately. That's not a thing you can do. I would have put them up. So what I'm going to say is, if you don't want any of this to happen, and you're happy what happens, or you're happy to see anything happen, and you roll with it, cool. But at the same time, that doesn't help me at all. So I would say is comment down below, saying, I like that, I don't think that's worth it, please do this instead. Or, yeah, I'd be down to join and talk over this part, because I think that would be great. And it'll help me as well, as in, like, help you out. And if you want to expand, if you guys ever consider doing your own content, brilliant. I'm down for that all day long. Have people on here, but if you guys want to do stuff as well, come to you, brilliant. Honestly, I'd love to do that. Being at university is obviously a bit of a stress in itself. But with COVID still blowing over, hopefully, tier 4 now, there's not a whole lot we can do outside for recreation and fun. So if it's inside the house and this sort of stuff, is happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. And I come up with different things, because I can't sit here and just play games to myself all the time or sit around on my guitar. I want to try and make it into self-confidence as well, because that's something I need to improve on, and I know I want to improve on. And the internet and putting yourself out there is definitely a way it can be done. So that is something I absolutely want to do, and I will do it. I just need to work out exactly what to do and what. Because if I'm playing this for no views or no interest whatsoever, why put it up? I can just practice speaking to the mirror, What's the point if no one listens? So at the same time, I do need to know what people have interest in. As I was saying, comment below what you think is good, what you think is bad. Well, not necessarily bad, but you personally aren't interested in, what you're happy to join in on. Comment it, or you guys know me. I'm not going to pretend I've got some huge fan base here that I don't know all in person. Just message me or whatever it is. If you watch this, I'll send it to you most likely. If you find it naturally, then surprise, here it is. This is a different video. I hope you enjoyed it. I may or might not do another one when I've got a bit of feedback saying what's going to happen, like an update 2. Or it might just surprise you with the first video I've done based on any of the things I just said. hope it adds some knowledge to what this is going to be. Because I don't want to sit here and just do let's plays. It's one step, but I want to broaden out. You know, add some individuality and some personality to what I do. You know, that's how you grow in this sort of market. Not to say I'm going to become a YouTuber, you know, or a new streamer. That's not the route I intend on taking, but as a pastime for now at least, it's a good thing to do. And I like to talk about it, and I like to compare about things I love. I love video games, I'll admit that. I'm not someone who sits there all day playing video games, but in the time I do, which is normally like 2 or 3 hours a day, I love to play them. And I love to play them for not necessarily just the gameplay, the stories they provide as well, such as this one right here on the screen. Last of Us 2 is a fantastic story. If this was a TV show, I'd watch it. Okay, The Walking Dead already exists, so you'd have a bit of competition there. But from a video game perspective, this is brilliant. Like I said, football, or sport in general, like the Olympics, if you want to bring that in. Um, yeah, I'll talk about it. If people want to talk about it as well, I'll say what I think is going to happen. And yeah, if I can learn a guitar as well, then that's even more diversification for the channel. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. And yeah, like I said, anything you think helps me, please let me know, either down below in the comments or just message me. But thanks, guys.